Good evening, my Rosalines and Rosikins. Mother is back. And in this video, I want to talk about what it means to be a Roslyn who overcomes beauty adversity and how it is a testament of your beauty, in fact, and not, as one would say, a confession of your lack of beauty. So, first, I want to break down what is beauty adversity. What do I mean when I say overcome beauty adversity? So, I just want to say this right here, right now. Mother has coined this term, beauty adversity, together. And what it means is that you've dealt with health issues and still receive pretty privilege. You've gained weight and still receive pretty privilege. Your skin is not flawless and, in fact, is flawed and you still receive pretty privilege. That can include hyperpigmentation, eczema, psoriasis, like rashes, things like that, discoloration, uneven skin tone, etc. Acne. Your hair has been damn near bald and you still receive pretty privilege. So, the beauty adversity in all these statements that I've listed so far is the things that would put your beauty at a disadvantage and that would lead someone to believe that you will no longer have a pretty privilege or be pretty if you deal with some of these things like health issues. Let's say you have scalp psoriasis, a leaky gut, cancer, even. I know it's very extreme but very real. Perhaps you're battling diabetes, perhaps you're battling psoriasis. I forgot what is the other one. Alopecia, there you go, where your hair falls out, right? Or maybe you cut your hair. Um, and people usually deem longer hair with health and beauty and youthfulness. And maybe you also deal with weight gain, whether that's from PCOS or which can also count as a health issue, or just you overate. You literally are feeding yourself to the point of overconsumption and causing obesity within your body because you don't have discipline. So all the things I've listed are things that many would say, "Oh, you're dealing with that? You're average or ugly." But no, there are pretty women who deal with this that still receive pretty privilege and that are on a glow journey because they realize that this is not where they want to end up nor stay. So basically, Rosalynds who overcome beauty adversity are women who basically have been breaking the standard beauty rules and you still get pretty privilege. You acknowledge this is not where you want to stay, and these moments in your beauty journey were caused by traumatic occurrences, some within your control, some without. But even then, you still have pretty privilege. So, this is what Mother is trying to say and wants you to really think about. If you deal with all this stuff and you still have pretty privilege, I want you to imagine what you'll be like when you glow up. Imagine when your health recovers, when your hair grows back, when your skin clears and is even and without blemish, and when you lose the weight and change your body for the better. This is who this video is for. Your beauty adversity builds your character. This is what Mother has gone through and is healing from now. But even at our worst, we're still pretty. So, the reason I made this video, my Rosalines, is because I noticed that a lot of pretty girl content creators say you need this or that to be pretty. And not everyone, because I'm part of the Exotical community, so not everyone. But there are some who highlight certain aspects that are needed for beauty. And they also say you need those things to have pretty privilege. Like some might say longer hair, flawless skin, white teeth, um, what can I say, a skinnier body. Even I preach this, right? Which I do believe you do need these things. But what happens when you're a pretty girl that's on the glow down, is in your glow down era and you're on your glow up journey to better your beauty, but you're still receiving pretty privilege anyway, right? Yeah. And other privileges, which I can't deny. So, the reason I ask these questions is because a pretty woman's journey isn't perfection, it's the process of perfecting your beauty daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, and intentionally within all those different time lapses. So, when it comes down to some women who believe that, oh, you just got it, you're born pretty cool, but you have to have this, you have to have that, you have to have this, you can't go through any glow downs, you have to be flawless all your life to be considered a real pretty girl. I really question that and genuinely think that that's literally impossible. Okay. So I say this to say no pretty girls woke up without doing something to amplify their beauty, whether they're coming from a glowed up state of amplifying their beauty or a glowed down state of amplifying their beauty. Whether it's a face wash or fixing their hair, because we're fucking human beings, we have flaws. We also evolve and perfect what Yah has given us in the form of our beauty. We have highs and we have lows. And I also want to mention, because some women feel like, well, if you're not like a 10 when you wake up, or if you are someone who has to work on their beauty or even go through a glow up at all, that means you're not attractive or you're not as pretty as you would think. But I don't believe that for a second. And a lot of celebrity women you see are pretty, but they also have caught off guard and on guard questionable photos, like any other pretty girl, because we're human. I'm tired of the narrative that some pretty girls push that a pretty girl is without imperfection, without effort. That's not true. So there are some pretty girls who literally feel like, and even regular, average, or ugly women and men, but in this case, women, who feel like, oh my God, she's caught off guard. She's really ugly in real life. It's all the makeup. That's what's helping her be pretty. No, that's dumb as fuck. You're trying to cope hella hard, and she's fucking human. She's not a fucking robot where every angle is perfect, okay? She has a bloated face sometimes, depending on what she ate last night. Sometimes her little stomach has a little pludge, even though she's a skinny legend. Sometimes she might have cellulite or imperfections or acne scars. This is what human beings that have a body, that live in a world where the environment can be crazy hot, crazy cold. Your skin gets dry, it cracks a little bit. You need lotion, okay? This is what regular women, people deal with, because we're human. We have imperfect bodies. You know, you're basically, this is why I just don't appreciate it, because it causes even more body dysmorphia within a pretty woman's head that is literally pretty, but because she's human and has imperfections and beauty adversity, she feels that she's ugly and disqualified from the pretty conversation simply because she has flaws. And she's comparing herself, as well as others, to an airbrushed image of a beautiful celebrity woman who's also pretty but has flaws, but you don't see them. You don't see them because the image you're given is one that's already touched up. Okay? Okay. So here's the thing, the difference between unattractive slash ugly slash average women and pretty girls is that our baseline is pretty. But ultimately, if you're a woman in general who gives a damn about beauty, you put in the work. Therefore, a pretty girl's ceiling is higher. She could propel her beauty further than that of an average, ugly, or unattractive woman, but she still puts in work just like any other woman would. And that does not mean that she's not pretty. Think about it. When an average or ugly woman does the most with their beauty or with her beauty, she becomes cute to pretty, right? But when a pretty woman does the most with her beauty, she becomes gorgeous and undeniable, model-esque, stunning, beautiful, etc. Same methods, different results, ultimately. A pretty woman's journey will always be further socially and beauty-wise, effortlessly and with effort, than that of an unattractive average or ugly woman. But regardless, pretty women do have to work to maintain and amplify their beauty just like anyone else. I'm tired of this notion that, oh my God, I woke up like this, flawless. Yes, I said in some videos that as pretty girls, we do wake up like this, flawless. But in the sense of we were born with it. We just have to take care of our beauty and amplify it as we evolve and learn different beauty strategies to enhance ourselves. However, it's still a glow up. It's still working on your beauty. Okay? There's no finished products when it comes down to beauty. You're ever evolving because your body's ever aging, and gracefully, hopefully, if you are maintaining and evolving your beauty and glowing up as you age and over time. It's like saying you were born tall and you should be able to throw a ball and be an NBA star. when people say, "Oh, with pretty, you just are, you don't have to do anything, you're just pretty, you're pretty." Like there's nothing that you have to do, either you have it or you don't, but you do have it, but you still have to cultivate it. So when someone's like, "Oh, you're born tall, you should be able to throw a ball and be an NBA star." That's like what you're saying when you try to discredit the journey of beauty on a pretty girl's life, right? But you miss the part where that person has to practice and perfect their skill of height privilege with the skill of basketball to become a goated basketball player. Basically, yeah, we have all the tools, but honey, need to learn how to put them all together. And sometimes, depending on your journey within your pretty privilege journey and beauty and phenotype and all those different things, some women who are pretty just like anyone else still have to go and through their beauty adversity and face certain things in order to perfect their beauty. Now, some are born with flawless skin and they're pretty, perfect white teeth, etc. That does not mean that someone who deals with beauty adversity is not pretty too. And this is what I'm trying to say and am saying. It leads back ultimately to hierarchy thinking within the like beauty community and the exotical community and any community where there's pretty women that have pretty privilege. Some think, "Oh, she had to do more for her pretty looks than I do. So, you know, I'm better." No, it's not like that. It's one thing when it's a pretty woman who's in a glow down state, but she's still pretty. She was literally born with it, versus an ugly or average woman or an attractive woman that's trying to overcompensate and be a pretty girl when she never had it to begin with. So here's the thing. Yeah, we're born with beauty, but we have to put in the work too. Even if our baseline is pretty, putting in the work doesn't discount our beauty, it amplifies it even more. I want to add this part too. The Beyonce, Kelly Rowland, Megan Goods, Paris Hiltons, etc. that we see today isn't the same one we saw in their youth. They maintained and evolved their beauty gracefully. As a pretty woman, you should always be going up, and especially if you face beauty adversities like I've listed above. The fact you face beauty adversities doesn't mean you're not pretty. It means you have to work to perfect the beauty Yah gave you. But you are pretty regardless since you were born with it and pretty is your baseline. And even ugly / average women can tell the difference between a pretty girl facing pretty adversity and an ugly, unattractive woman at their peak. Okay? So, what does this mean? What Mother is saying is that you could tell the difference. They can tell the difference. Unattractive and ugly women can see, "Oh, she doesn't belong here. I could tell she's just going through a hard time right now, but it'll pass because she's not meant to be like one of us." And that's why they treat you as such. Okay. That's why you still stand out when you're leveled down. That's why other women still hate on you, even when you can't see your beauty due to the beauty adversity you're dealing with currently. That's why you doubt your beauty, but feel that you should have a seat at the pretty girl's table. You know you are not looks max and that you are still facing beauty adversity. Deep down, you're a beauty queen as well and still get pretty privilege. But the reality is that because of the beauty adversity you face, you discredit your own beauty because you feel like, "Oh, I have to be flawless. I have to do this. I have to have that." When literally you're pretty. You're just going through a rough patch with your looks. Sometimes that happens. Like, no, does not mean you're ugly. Like, fuck that shit. Okay? Okay. Or average. And I will say this for all of the Rosalines who deal with beauty adversity, some of these things I deal with myself as your mother, and it's really a journey. And I'm gonna say you're going to put in the work. Do the thing you need to do. Invest in your health and beauty to correct the beauty adversity you face and overcome it, whether that's losing the weight or clearing your skin or growing out your hair or whatever that might be for you, or, switching to a healthier lifestyle to combat certain health ailments you might deal with, right? Yes. So invest in your health and beauty to correct the beauty adversity you face and overcome it. Use it as a testimony and knowledge that even at your worst, you are a pretty girl and have always been that girl, simply because you're born with it. Don't look at beauty adversity as a sign you're not pretty. It's a testament that you're so pretty that even when facing pretty adversity, you're still on a pedestal and are still pretty. What more could you be if you were able to remove the beauty adversity. So I was talking with my best friend, my beautiful Blasian Exotical best friend, and she deals with alopecia. And I remember she's telling me the story of when she was in high school, how she got bullied and whatnot. But honey, looking back at those pictures with her and her scarf, her face card still didn't decline and bitches were still hating, you know? And so my thing is with her story and how she's recovered so well years later and even not too far from like her high school years. Her hair is luscious, it's long, it's curly, it's pretty just like her, which it always was. She was just going through an autoimmune disease problem. And I deal with my own. I tell you about my eczema, my scalp psoriasis at times. I've had to cut my hair before all the way down to like the scalp. Like I cut it like a boy's cut, because my scalp psoriasis was flaring so bad, and this was in college. I had to big chop it because my hair was longer, but I was like, I want to value my scalp health and my hair health over length. And so some might look at that and be like, oh my God, like, ugh. But I look at it as I still have my face card. I'm still receiving privileges. I could still switch it up if it's that deep with my hairstyles. And, wear wigs, extensions, etc. But my thing is that I want to do what's best for my natural beauty, first and foremost, always and forever. And so I want to speak on that because there are some pretty girls who have never dealt with any of these things. And for those pretty women, congratulations. Like, that's really a great testament for your beauty and yourself and your journey. And I'm glad you didn't have to deal with certain things trying to knock you off your pedestal beauty wise, or things that made you question your beauty. You just always know you had it. But there are certain beautiful women who literally have dealt with all these things and are still and have still received pretty privilege and are on the journey to be even more stunning because they're removing the beauty adversity, they're putting in the work. And I'm one of those women. So for me personally, I feel like both scenarios are a testament to your beauty. You're so flawless that you didn't have to deal with beauty adversity. But then again, I'm so flawless too because I've been dealing with it and have dealt with it and about to finish dealing with this shit. And I'm still receiving pretty privilege even without being completely healed of this shit yet. So my thing is just like when you look at two different perspectives about it, I would say when it comes down to being a pretty girl as your baseline, just have grace with other pretty women. I don't think that you should, for me personally, I don't try to measure someone's beauty. Like, you know where you stand. And even though sometimes you doubt, because I doubt, Tid before where I stood because of my beauty adversity I deal with, right? I'm not my finished product and I know this, but that's what my channel is for. It's for the Rosalines who deal with beauty adversity and who are on their glow up journey. And even for those who have perfected their beauty, like, still, like, always keep going, girl. Like, you gorgeous. You can be even more gorgeous. I mean, think about Beyonce. Like, she was born gorgeous, right? And she's even more gorgeous than her younger days and with 3 kids. So that's why I say, like, my thing is just like, yeah, like, it's only up from here, baby girl. It's only up from here, my Rosalins. And so that's why I just say, like, I never dispute another woman's beauty journey. If you have it, you have it. You're born with it. Cool. We could go from there now, you know? So that's what I'm just saying, like, no. And what I will say is that when it comes down to healing and overcoming your beauty adversity, I'm not saying it happens overnight, but it does happen if you make changes and are intentional over time. Also, you're becoming gorgeous and stunning, not pretty. Always remember this, my Rosalins that deal with beauty adversity and overcoming it, because you're already pretty. Okay, beauty, like, pretty is your baseline. So, yeah, I wanted to say that because this conversation I feel like is not had enough in the beauty community, especially exotical community, because all exoticals that I've come across so far, they benefit from pretty privilege, and that is what I categorize exoticals as because our beauty does stand out respectfully within our different phenotypes. And there's a range. Some of us are more black leaning like myself. Some of us are more other leaning like yourselves. But the point is that you can't discredit someone else's beauty journey because you feel like you've already arrived. I think that's not fair. And I think that that is very hierarchy thinking. And I will always say this, if you're really that bitch, why are you trying to knock someone off of their throne in order to raise yourself higher on yours? I will never need to do that, honey, because I realized that as an exotical, as a exotic black woman, as a pretty girl, everyone that has beauty that is born with it can sit at the table and rise. We're all already in the top 20% of women by looks alone, and you can keep elevating from there, with your looks to make you the top 15%, etc. And also, that's not even counting your accomplishments. Honey, you're already a queen, okay? You just need to learn to perfect your queendom and your beauty as you continue to go higher and higher and evolve. But that does not mean that you need to put a measurement on other women's beauties that are also pretty like yourself. And so that's why I just said, like, for me, when it comes down to dealing with beauty adversity, again, that I coined, um, Mother is saying that do not be discouraged when you deal with beauty adversity. Know that it's a testament to how beautiful you really are by the fact that you're still killing bitches, even with your beauty adversity, whether that's your hair, your skin, your health, your weight, etc. And so I just want to say that because Mother's really been thinking about beauty and what it encompasses. And what about the pretty girls that have glow ups? That's a thing. And because I asked that inside of my community tab or community post, whatever, community tab post? Yeah, sure. And you guys, I love you. Almost all of you. I think all of you did say that you do believe in pretty women having glow ups. I also call that looks maxing as well. There's different stages and phases of looks maxing depending on where you're starting. But I want to say for me personally, I'm authentic with my Rosalines. Me and you, Rosalines, who deal with beauty adversity, are on the same journey, and we're going to get there, and we're going to overcome our beauty adversities because it's a healing journey. It's the fact that we are telling ourselves subliminally and consciously and subconsciously that we want to be seen and we are ready to sit on our beauty thrones in all of our glory. And it's a hard thing because we deal with self-sabotaging ourselves, we deal with low self-esteem at times, we deal with body dysmorphia for sure, and we deal with self-doubt with our pretty privilege, even though all the signs point to us being pretty women at our baseline again. So, and that's just due to the fact of where you are right now. But understand that it only gets better and that you have this, and do not allow anyone, ugly, average, even other pretty girls that want to categorize you as not being worthy of your pretty privilege, to put you down because you're dealing with beauty adversity. Some women have a certain standard of what they think pretty is that is so unrealistic. Um, but I know, your mother knows, that you are pretty girls. And I will never, ever, ever shame you for being a pretty girl that is on a glow up journey of any kind. Even if you're already a 10, keep going, baby. Become an 11. I don't give a fuck. The point is that it's your journey, it's your beauty. You do what the fuck you want with your beauty and your body. But understand that you are a pretty girl, if nothing else. And that in itself is still powerful. So with that, Mother's going to say, ciao. I love you, my Rosalines. Ah! You're so my favorite. And I hope this helped encourage you because when I was thinking about it, it encouraged me even more. Okay. Bye. Have a nice day.